Hi, and welcome to today's Monday Musings. My name is Stephanie RJ, A-R-J-E, and I'm the author of Shackled by Shame and Liberated by Love. We're taking the month of December and maybe the first week of January to really delve into the issues of the holiday season and sticking with my 13th chapter of rebuilding and restoring relationships, because that's so much of what the holiday is about, is dealing with relationships. I have with me here again my friend and a mental health professional, Keiko Shin. Keiko, would you like to say a word?
Oh yeah, I'm just so excited to be here again, joining Stephanie. I just love the powerful nuggets that are in her book. And I also encourage anyone to just pick it up and read tons of wonderful information and just her process, her journey that many women can relate to. So I'm so glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to be able to share, for you to be able to share as well. You know, as we look at the holiday season, so the last time we talked about coming out of an abusive relationship and then the dynamics of trying to recapture the fun of Christmas.
Right.
Or in some cases, Hanukkah. I get to celebrate both.
Yes. Yeah, true.
And to let God redeem that. So if this time I'd like to focus on people who are dealing with a loss. Their first holiday without that special loved one. For example, I know a friend whose father just passed away this past weekend. And I think about people, you know, aware of current events who have just lost their children because of a tragic accident. So that's not a place that I've walked, but perhaps some of your clientele, or maybe you in your own life, have walked there.
Oh yes, just even currently, so many are coming in for grief and loss, and particularly right now in the season that we're in. And so, joining them in this journey, it's hard, but it's sacred. It's a sacred path. Because again, you know, these are significant loved ones. These are people in their lives, like mothers, children, as you said, and facing a moment, a season that carries so many memories, so many significant moments in families' lives, and now, you know, it's very tragic. And so people come in very fragmented. People come in at a daze, you know, just in a place of shock. And so, you know, for clinically speaking, you know, we really, what's most beneficial, and though it's very hard, is creating a safe environment, a safe space for people to just talk and really process their loss, give language around what's going on. Because if not, we have a tendency to just kind of, our brain is wired in such a way to just lock it up and just tuck it under or put it way in the back of the filing cabinet of our brains, never to really be fully processed. And we enter into some avoidance behaviors and can be very traumatic. So the first step is to really just create that loving space where people can just kind of just let it all out, let all the pain out. So,
you know, you and I have talked about the importance of community.
Yeah.
And I think that in my own circumstance,
Right.
I was living in this one state, and my family was living many states, a plane ride of states away from me when I went through some of these firsts. And so I'm thinking back, and I have to be honest in saying that the first to the first 5 years were very challenging for me to navigate. I had left my community where I was divorced and came to a new community where I was now having to build relationship. And I can remember going to a restaurant with a book to read because I had no one to share my pain
yeah.
with. I mean, even my counselor that had walked me through, the previous 3 years was not available. What would you say to me if you knew me then?
Right. Well, yes, I would immediately want you to be plugged into community. As a friend of yours, if I were to sit across from you, I would really, I would want to, as the helper that I am, I would be like, I'm here for you. But I would definitely want you, if at all possible, to be plugged into church, to get engaged. And I would say, come along with me, and also just, have someone to talk to. So I would also encourage you to do individual counseling, have someone here, even though you're in a new community, it's like a reset for you. So trying to build your life just like anyone who's going through an adjustment is to just really look at, community. Are you getting connected in church? Do you have any source of entry points where you can connect with people in your professional realm, or if any way that you can meet up with people? It's a step, even though your feeling wise is like, I want to isolate myself, I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to curl up in my blanket and just say goodbye world, but these are just the steps that we have to just grit our teeth and just make a decision to do so, and then the feelings will follow eventually as you're taking these steps that are very brave steps, but very necessary.
With that, I want to end with kind of an exhortation, because I know there are people who watch my Monday Musings who are not coming from an abuse background, a loss background, a toxic relationship background, but they know someone who is, or in or that situation, or has come out of it. And I want to exhort you to reach out to those people that you know and include them in your activities. Sometimes we get so self-centered, whether it's self-centered in our pain or self-centered in our own activities, that we can inadvertently overlook the very ones that God has put in our path to embrace. God says He puts the lonely in families. And I just encourage you to reach out and be sensitive to ask the Holy Spirit to give you a sensitivity to those who are feeling alone, isolated, and depressed. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you'll join us again for another Monday Musing. And who knows how we'll approach the topic of the holidays, but it's so important. So if you would like to share this, please do. Also, you can find this reposted on my website, stephaniearj.com, stephaniearje.com, or on my YouTube channel, which is also, you can find by my name. Thank you so much for spending time with us.